Hi everyone, it's Kate, and today I'm going to be introducing my project, ICA as Global Governance and Individual Rights. ICA, or Inter-Country Adoption, is a transfer of one child to parents in another country. It's complicated by many actors at different levels with different interests, including the individual, or the child being adopted, the birth family, the sending country, the role of international law, or global governance, the receiving country, as well as ASPs, or adoption service providers. Conventional wisdom says that adoption is for the benefit of the child. However, studies show a clear relationship between the role of the state, the economy, social understandings of welfare, and how adoption is actually applied. ICA is governed by the HCIA, or Hague Convention on International Adoption, which itself is based on two principles: subsidiarity and best interests. Best interests is based in four different value perspectives, or arrangements between the state and its responsibility for providing welfare. The application of different value perspectives results in different social welfare regimes, or SWMs. The first SWM is neoliberal, which focuses on individual rights and responsibilities within a capitalist system. Under this system, the state is not responsible for welfare, and instead, welfare is part of a private market and may involve the use of for-profit social entrepreneurship models. Conservative corporatist is based on state paternalism, child protection, and maintains a focus on individual rights and responsibilities within a capitalist system. Welfare is state-funded, with the state playing a more active regulatory role, but relies on independent, potentially for-profit, agencies for implementation. Social democratic is based on modern defense of the birth family and parents' rights, and focuses on a system where welfare is demarketized and provided by the state while still upholding a capitalist economic model. The battleground for these different frameworks is a subsidiary principle, subsidiarity, a rebuttable presumption for the local, which requires local solutions, including preventing the causes of ICA, to be prioritized. Such proactive measures go against the reactive provision of welfare in neoliberal and conservative corporatist models. Here, local is taken to mean prioritization of solutions within the birth family or domestic solutions before ICA. Such a definition is supported in the HCIA. For my project, the guiding question is as follows: how does the type of welfare regime in receiving countries inform their application, or lack thereof, of the subsidiary principle, subsidiarity, in regards to inter-country adoption? I hypothesize that in a comparison of welfare regimes in receiving states, states with neoliberal or conservative corporatist social welfare models will be less likely to have a strong subsidiarity than states with social democratic social welfare models. I will use a large N neo-positivist study looking at the top 24 receiving countries by number of children adopted between 2004 and 2017. Each of these countries is a Hague signatory and thus supports subsidiarity at some level. My dependent variable is subsidiarity, which I've divided into strong subsidiarity and soft subsidiarity. Soft subsidiarity is based off the HCIA and is so called because, under the HCIA, subsidiarity is secondary to the best interest principles. Given that best interests can vary depending on which welfare perspective you believe in, there is room for a lot of different exceptions and non-standardization under the HCIA. Strong subsidiarity, then, is defined as states which define subsidiarity more rigorously than the HCIA. That is, they have more regulations determining who is eligible to be adopted. These levels will be determined using qualitative content analysis of the ICA laws in the receiving countries. These can be found online through profiles compiled by the HCIA. My independent variable is social welfare models. Given that SWMs measure government responsibility towards welfare, I developed three classifications for social welfare models based on private social expenditure as a percentage of public social expenditure. Once I create these datasets, I will perform a chi-square test to determine if a significant relationship between social welfare model and application of subsidiarity exists. If it does, A goodness of fit test can be performed to further explore strength and directionality of this relationship. I can then use process tracing to further explore why this relationship exists. Both small and large N studies can make causal claims. However, with this type of large N study, a greater degree of causality can be determined. This could have especially large implications for ICA as a whole, given that the 24 cases here account for over 90% of ICA. That said, a large N study also complements existing ICA studies which indicate a causal relationship between social attitudes towards welfare and the economy, i.e., social welfare models, and the realities of adoption, but which lack empirical testing. Large N does sacrifice some nuance due to its reliance on operationalizing variables. To counteract this, I've included qualitative content analysis and process tracing, which help bridge the gap between strict variables and nuance. Beyond adoption, the subsidiary principle is also used in discussion of global warming, human rights, and other issues. This study can help clarify how the rights and responsibilities of individuals, nations, and international systems are weighed both ideologically and practically in international law and global governance.